Another green shirt, another Fragrance Project Pan update. I'm actually surprised that I have this many shirts in that very specific dark green color. I don't think I have any more, so I may have to repeat one of the ones I've already worn for my finale, which will be my next video. This is my second to last update. I ran out of samples. Even though I don't talk about fragrance much on my channel, I really haven't leading up to this point, I have learned so much, and I really think it's helped me just have a more refined idea of what scents I like and makes me more likely to be able to pick out products that I think I'm gonna really enjoy, which is great. That was one of the purposes of this Project Pan. The main purpose, though, I'll be honest, was to finally have the motivation to go through all of these samples. I think I had like 40 samples, close to that were just sitting around in my collection. I think at this point I've now worked through 27 of them, and I have 8 left. Making good progress. I forgot to put on a lip. Today I'm gonna go with this TooFaced lipstick. This is the Milkshake shade, and I mentioned it before in a litmus feature that I did on this, but it smells like chocolate raspberries. The way I go through and review the samples that I have been testing out over the last month is I'll start with the products that I didn't like, move my way up to like the middle category of products that I liked but I don't think are for me, and then I end on a positive note talking about the ones that I really enjoyed and why, and then I pull the next set of samples that I'll be focusing on for the next month. I had 2 perfume samples that I was not crazy about, and I'll start with the one that I liked the least, and that was Ellis Brooklyn Vanilla Milk. I think sometimes I talk negatively about vanilla, and I don't mean to make it seem like all vanilla is bad or I can't stand vanilla. There are some that I really like. In fact, one that I'll talk about later. This one was just too strong. It was so vanilla heavy that it just took over everything. It has both bourbon vanilla and Madagascar vanilla, so maybe just the double vanilla was too much. But it's interesting because there are other things in this that I do really like, so I thought I was gonna like it more. It has jasmine and peony and musk and sandalwood and frangipani, which is plumeria, which I do really like. That's actually one of my mom's favorite flowers. But yeah, I just didn't like it. Too much vanilla. The next perfume in the least favorite category is Commodity Book. I kind of already knew going in that this was a really strong, very specific type of scent, and I was either gonna really like it or not like it, but maybe it was the eucalyptus. I'm not sure. There was just some parts of it that were too strong for me, and again, just wasn't my favorite. However, I mixed it with Vanilla Woods, which I'll talk about later, and mixing those two together somehow made it smell like coffee, which I did like. So maybe that's something I can explore down the line. You know, when I think of vanilla, I think of something kind of cozy and sweet, and I'm wondering if maybe I would prefer coffee flavored or coffee scented fragrances versus straight up vanilla. That was interesting. I haven't done a ton to like mix perfumes together. I was really trying to just test out the samples on their own, and because there isn't really a lot in each of them, I wanted to focus on them on their own before I just started experimenting. But that one I was kind of like not sure I wanted to even finish the sample, and so I mixed it with something sweeter just to see what it would do, and ended up really liking the result. So that's good. I think I might consider doing that more down the line. I do have 2 commodity fragrances, the full size, in my collection. I have Gold, which is very vanilla, and then I have Orris, which again is one of those really strong scents. Someone gave me a tip in the comments that you can spray those perfumes you don't like, maybe just a spritz or 2 on your shower curtain, and it'll kind of disperse and help make the room smell a certain way. And I've been really loving using my Orris fragrance for that, but I think what I'll try next is mix Commodity Gold and Orris together to see if maybe the things that make them too extreme can like balance each other out somehow. That one was still in the least favorite category, but it had a redeeming quality, so it's a little bit higher than Vanilla Milk, which is just at the bottom. I have 4 perfumes that are kind of in that middle category. They are nice objectively, just not for me personally, and unfortunately all 4 of them are from the Besame Decades collection, and I have 5 of them. So they go from 1920 all the way up to 1960. And I'll start with 1920. That one smelled very nice to me. It had like a slight powdery element, and I did like that. It was good. It's just for powdery fragrances, they very much have like a very specific time and place for me. And I would be surprised if a really powdery perfume ended up being one of my signature scents. 1940 is also in this category, but I can't really talk about 1940 until I talk about 1930, and that one was actually one of my favorites. So I'm gonna wait to describe 1940 and just jump ahead to 1950. This one was different from the others. It doesn't have any vanilla. I think when I tried this, I had gone through a lot of vanilla samples, and so this was just like a welcome reprieve from all the sweetness. This is floral, very clean, honestly just maybe a little too clean for me. And it's relatively strong and lasts a really long time. So I think I liked it at the beginning because it was kind of just a different thing from all the vanilla stuff, but after a while, after really testing it out, it did the opposite of growing on me, whatever that is. It just kind of like became less something I liked over time. If you really like clean scents, I think that you would like this, like actual clean smelling. 1960 was so interesting. I liked it more than 1950. The notes are grapefruit, coriander, rose, jasmine, patchouli. It's interesting and unique, and the way I would describe this is if you've ever gone into one of those stores they sell like older stuff, not necessarily antique stuff, but just like not brand new merchandise. Maybe they also sell candles that you light them and they set some sort of intention. You know what I mean? They just have a various offering of wares. That's what this smells like. It's nice, but not for me. Okay, one more vanilla one. This is Vanilla Woods by the Seven Virtues. I really liked this. And I think it's because it has that vanilla, but it's more subtle. It's not too strong. It's just like a softened vanilla. A little spritz of this. Maybe I'm wearing like a cozier sweater. I think I wore this one. It was still a little chilly, still a little rainy. So I was wearing a cozy sweater. And I just put a little spritz of this on, and it just really created that like cozy feeling. Just really added to it, I should say. Yeah, every time I smell this and think about how I want to describe it, the word cozy comes to mind. Next up is another Besame Decades one. This is 1930. I liked this because it had a sweet spice to it. I really liked smelling this on myself throughout the day, and my husband even noticed it and complimented me on it as well. Which when I think about like what perfumes I want to wear, I am primarily focusing on stuff that I think smells good and stuff that I want to smell on myself, but it is nice to know that the other person I live with and am around all the time also liked this too. Yeah, this was really good. Smelling it again just makes me feel happy. And I'm gonna go back to the other Besame Decade that is technically in the middle of the road category, and that's 1940. This is a more intense version of 1930 that I just talked about, and it has more of a vanilla scent at the end. It's very distinct. It's a bit strong, but not like in a bad way. I just think I like 1930 a lot better, even though they're very similar. And the last one that I really liked is another commodity fragrance, and this time it's Tonka. I like Tonka bean in perfumes. I know I really liked it in the Define Me Aerial perfume. I had a full size of that and finished it. And I went to go look it up because I used to get it on the Ulta website. It was like $68 on the Ulta website. It was in this really cute packaging. And I went to go look for it again because it's something I would definitely buy again. And I even mentioned that in my perfume collection video. It's now only on the Disney website. So I'm guessing they like bought it from Define Me or maybe just had some sort of licensing deal. I'm not sure, but it's now on the Disney website and it's $125. It's essentially doubled in price, and I couldn't really tell if it doubled in size, but honestly I doubt it. What is that? So now I'm like kicking myself because I could have gotten it from the Ulta website for half the price had I known it was going to disappear and show up somewhere else more expensive. Annoying. Anyway, I don't want to take away from the fact that I do really like this though. This, I got a lot of compliments when I wore it too, which is just like an added bonus. And what I like about it is that it's sweet, but not too sweet. Again, I'm looking up Tonka bean right now because I think that is a common denominator in perfumes that I like. When it has Tonka in it, Tonka bean, I enjoy it. So I just kind of want to look up what that is. From the very brief research I'm doing right now, it looks like Tonka beans are really similar to vanilla beans, but they're more subtle, less sweet, more spicy and nutty. Yeah, so maybe that's what I need to do is take the elements that maybe are close to vanilla but aren't all the way to that level of sweetness like Tonka bean or coffee scents. Maybe that's my sweet spot when I am looking for something sweeter or more cozy. That's good to know. I'm glad I am able to take the opportunity to reflect on these and kind of parse out maybe what elements of the perfumes I like versus what I don't like. That's what has been so beneficial about doing a specific fragrance project pan. I have all my notes about each one kind of listed out, and I write down my thoughts as I'm experimenting with them, and it just helps me remember things that I would have forgotten if I just did it on my own slowly. Like I'd be like, oh, I like that, oh, I like that, but I wouldn't exactly remember why. And of course I have it all outlined and organized in a spreadsheet. It's color coded and everything. It's just been really helpful for me. And I briefly wanted to mention I had a little bit of Tocca Florence left in my last update. I wasn't able to fully finish it because these little roller balls take forever to go through, and I just wanted to let you know that I finished it. And I feel the same way that I did in my last update. So I'm not necessarily drawing random perfume samples out of a bag anymore because I'm just going to be grabbing all of them, but still wanted the bag to make an appearance. I have quite a few commodity samples. I have vetiver, leather, and gin. From what I remember, these are stronger scents, and so if I don't like them after my first application, I might mix them with commodity gold in order to kind of like even them out. And then this one, I remember having a couple clean fragrances a long time ago, and they ended up being too strong, so I gave them to my mom. But this is Clean Reserve Radiant Nectar, and I don't remember if I've ever tried this one, so I'm gonna give it another chance. Sometimes that name clean makes me feel like it's gonna smell too clean, but I'm not sure if all the perfumes smell like that anymore. I don't know, it's been a long time. It says it has pear and white cedar extract, but it also says it has orris and tobacco, blossom, and carrot seeds, which I don't know if I know what a carrot seed smells like, but it's got some notes that I think I might like, but then also some that I know can sometimes be too strong for me. This one I'm really, really excited about. I know I have tried it once or twice. This is from Victoria Beckham, and it's San Ysidro Drive?
San Ysidro.
San Ysidro, which I'm just learning now is in California, in San Diego. This has passion fruit, saffron, rose, jasmine, oud, and black amber. And if I remember correctly, these are pretty expensive, full price. The impression I get from Victoria Beckham, both her beauty and her perfume lines, is that she does put a lot of time and effort into curating them and creating really high quality stuff. I can't say for certain if this is like the most expensive sample that I will be testing out in this project, but I think it's gonna be up there. It smells really good. Hopefully I don't fall in love with it. I have one last Tocca scent. This is Cleopatra. Ooh, I like that. It has grapefruit, blackcurrant, green notes, jasmine, peach, tuberose, musk, and vanilla. Vanilla is one of the base notes, but it doesn't smell like it's taking over the whole thing, at least not from my very first impression. I generally do like the Tocca scents. They mostly fall in like that middle category for me though, so we'll see if this one follows suit. I've got a floral scent here. This is Nest Wild Poppy. The notes are rose de grass, Himalayan jasmine, pear, and raspberry. I think I'm gonna like that. And then last one is Burberry Goddess. This one has ginger in it. It has a seemingly random assortment of scents. So it's got like vanilla and lavender, and then it has ginger and caviar. So we'll see about that. Overall, I'm feeling good about my experience so far. I really appreciate the comments you've been leaving. I have just learned a lot from what you choose to share with me, especially because I know for a fact that there are a lot of people watching who know a lot more about fragrance than me, and I'm sure sometimes you hear me say things and you're just like rolling your eyes. So I appreciate your patience and what you have to teach me and share with me. It's just really helped me learn and been a fun way that I can sort of borrow some expertise from others. But yeah, I think my finale will probably come in a month, maybe a little bit more than that, just because these Tocca samples do take a long time to finish. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video.